Hi guys. Hi Eddie, how are you? Give me some love, be my better half. I promise I will never let you down, my girl. Jewelry, dollar bills, many things don't mean nothing. For as long as you got my heart, 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 heart. Na yero chonga makoma woluli, sikumanyi bulungi nkyakwetegereza. I say yes, I say no, I say baby let's take it slow. You were my number one girl, you rule my world. You took my heart. Never give back, but you make me big. You make me big. Every time I come over, you make me big. But why? Kiss you, touch and leave my but why? Touch your nimble, 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 ninja. 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 Girl, I love you, but you never ever take what I say. See, I need you, but you know what to do ever again. Rock my world, it goes around, around and round and round and round. I love you so, I need you so, I never leave you so. Girl, I tell you this every day, every night, that I really feel you, I can't deny. Give us a chance, you and I, you and I, you and I. Hi guys. Give us a chance, you and I, you and I, you and I. Bagay, how is your Sunday? How is your Sunday going? Appetite yogenda mu gym yaganye ngenda kubira byuma waka. Kale okosa appetite yandibaddewo naye. So what happened is I ended up deep cleaning the car and obudde ne bumpitako jukira I'm supposed to go like 2 hours before. Chris, okoma odi e Kampala. Oyinza okubanga gwajja okuba motivation enzizayoko mu gym. But currently wani waka walinge wammala nyinda gena nkwate muko enchanke eri nga ndi munene nga siyiise. Yeah, but how are you today guys? So next week, which starts tomorrow or the week after that, Dr. Jonathan Kiwanuka, it should always be first thing in the morning. Chris, my mornings oyinza okutya. My mornings start at 4 a.m. and they are not the usual mornings that we want. And then my nights, normally I come home late, very late, so I sleep for a very few hours. And yeah, I would really want to do it very early in the morning. Naye man, katuraba like the weekends, this is the only time I get to sleep at all. Like do like 7-8 hours. Like it's like Saturday maybe and Sunday, but Saturday is also off. Yeah. Ate kati Chris Fitness ene waffe Kampala bwogamba mbogende mu gym kumacha tojja basanga gym zigulawo saawa 3 saawa 4 abamu bajja mukaaga ne yana e Kampala bwe batu bwe bakola kati bwogamba nti ogenda obakeere ogenda kumaliriza nga tokoledde ddala. But mudu yange tegenda kufa, I'm going to work out after this broadcast. It's the first thing I'm going to do. Samuel Cisse, good evening. My Sunday is free in the morning. Mostly now, if I would have to work out from home. Working out from home, for me, it works out better at night. It works out better at night. In the morning, it's not really something I want to do in the morning when I'm home. Rashid Jagenda, Dan Okeni, Albino Olaku, Andrea Joshua, Rama Charity Organization, John's Info, Kwikiriza Maria, Billy Crown, Samuel Cisse, Bukenya Abe. Hey, how are you guys doing? Zendu steady. Ndi waka nsibye okanga nkola ku mirimu kyemubamula nkyali na ku computer wano. Ebintu emu bigatanga biganye ng'okola buli kyosobola naye ng'olaba tekigatta kati ng'onoonya kyozzaako ngwa man.
but either way we will keep pushing tulabe nga ate kimala ne kitambula. Tulabe nga ate era kimala ne tambula. But how are you today? Mbadde neevuddeko. Today I went to the hospital. Guys, let's actually before the road work, no exercise beats jogging and brisk walking. I walk a lot somewhere. Nze ntambula nnyo mu kibuga sirinya boda, ntambula everywhere. So walking, I do at least minimum like 5k steps. Bwe mba mbidi busy nnyo ntambudde nnyo. Kati ate on the days that we do inspections, and now you can tambula footsteps in game twice but to tambula. Of course there are guys that we do inspection with the tatambula new, but if you find that we do inspections on the days that we do inspections, and I can call it in terms of movement. But I do squats, a lot of squats at home. And then I work on my upper body, I think a lot, apart from busy you're really tired, but I work out a lot. The jogging, I really want to go back jogging, but I'm uncomfortable jogging when everyone is watching. It's just something that's with me. So that's why it was normally very easy for me to jog like at 6:30 in the morning, and by like 8 I'm back. If I go at 7, it means I'll come back at 9:30, 10. I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm doing some aerobics at home, but they bore me a lot. The reason why I used to jog was because I love moving. And then, of course, it's easier for you to run back 10 kilometers if you're stuck 10 kilometers away, and the only thing you have to do is run. You could not do even on a treadmill. I'll get bored very easily. Why did I stop running in the morning? I realized that we are not as safe as we think we are. I used to run in Iwafe, in isolated places, and some people got attacked. Baba attacking sawa 12 kitundu awo in Iwafe. And then I thought, and of course I used to watch and I used to have like suspicions myself, but nga sikitwala ng'ekintu ekisoboka kupenda tuli mu kyalo. You would think teri yo babbi, like ababbi abakuba abantu, but then they are there bakubira ddala abantu. And then I was thinking to myself, okay, jogging is a very good thing, and me, if I'm not going to do 15k, I'm not going to do it at all. So then I was thinking to myself, okay, you're jogging to live long. What if you're beaten and then you don't live long at all? Then what are you going to say to your kids? You know, if those guys beat you and they killed you, that's probably better for you. But the thing is, they would beat you and probably spoil your brain, and you have to be a vegetable for the rest of your life. And vegetables live a very long time. So I don't want to be a vegetable. One of the reasons why I don't like border borders is because I don't want to be a vegetable. Umanyi border border ye kuba and you become a vegetable. And no tuura ng'omanyi nti ekintu wali, you could have avoided that, naye nga avoiding a Morad K Momo VIP, Chizatadeo VIP, muli mutyaba VIP bange, Charles Sebaduka, how are you? Mgalasi Joshua Mixed Farm. So I walk a lot somewhere when I'm in town, sitting ya border, wemba sitambule mvugao, but I walk a lot. And I sweat a lot when I do my weights and all at home. When I come back home, normally I give away like 30 to 40 minutes just for exercise every day or every 2 days. I do that a lot. But then, you know, that's not really my worry. I even have a blood pressure monitor. I bought a blood pressure monitor when I was moving this way. Running is great, but as a man, you need to combine aerobics and lifting some weights, because after 40 weeks, we lose muscle rapidly, and your bones also need strength training to prevent us. Ekyo kyogere mu Uganda, Christopher, na gwe akati lwaki oyogera oluzungu oluzibu, ekyo kigambo kiki kisembyeyo. So guys, abasajja muwulidde, you need to lift weights so that you get strength in your body. And I find that when you do squats, you feel much better. And And of course I was watching also videos where they say running is not very good for you. I don't know what is good for us anymore. Literally everything we do bagamba chibi. You find people saying eating pineapples is good, then you find people saying pineapples are poisonous. You find people saying eating watermelon is good for you, then some people will be saying watermelon is bad for you. But personally, the only amagumba okwebuuka is okwebuuka ge gatya ne gavaayo gati. Samuel oli sayansa onsekerera nze olwokuba nyina akagambo ke simanyi gwe olwokuba mwabisoma mu sciences. Is when you lose bone mass amagumba negakunkumuka guys. Let me just exercise. I find that the hardest exercise we could do as men would be squats. Nebuli bulanges wandaga. They are very hard, but once you do them, your body is much more balanced and you have more strength in your lower body, so you can move better, you can go up the stairs better, you walk better. Kugamba, your entire movement is supported very well. And yeah, so I find that after 40 I would not get that word that you have said. Today I'm going to give away 1.5 hours strictly ngankola, because I'll do a bit of aerobics and then I'll lift, and then yeah, and then I also make mama band do aerobics naye abeere fit aleme kugejjurukuka. For the women, I find that their biggest concern is for them to grow really fat, and that's why they do aerobics. Nze seeraliikirira kugejja, actually neeraliikirira kukogga, and then I be very small ngempewo enfuuwa n'engwa. And lifting is also good for our testosterone as men. Yes, testosterone is very important. There is a guy twabadde tutambula, and the guy had a very deep voice. Very deep. He was an old man, like 50 years. And then we laughed and we said, testosterone ingamususiko. And surprisingly, testosterone is supposed to be good for us. But half of the men that I've found that have a lot of testosterone, which comes out in the voice, are single. Like they suffer a lot with chicks. Simanyi lwaki oba mpisa zaabwe ziba si nungi nnyo. Their voice kind of has to like do most of the things that they would do as a human being. Ne bamaliriza nga abakyala tebasimi, I don't know. So we passed by this dude and he was talking in a very deep voice, like, and it seemed like he had a lot of testosterone. Yeah, anyway, it's Sunday. Which people are going to buy cars next week without me? Mwagalize mufune agana mwetano gampe ngalye nga gabane ne makanika naawe ofune emmotoka okitegeere ng'ofunyeko amasa 2 pairs of eyes, 4 other eyes to help you make a decision, to help you make the right decision. Okitegeera ate ekyo nakyo tukitwale maaso. So today I went to the hospital. There's a time I'm going to do a full body checkup. I talked to Dr. Kiwanuka, and we are going to do a full body checkup before he comes for his interview with me. Remember the questions that you posted to ask him? Yes, he has all those questions. So before we go for that thing, he's going to bachita kunkebera full body checkup. I want to come and ask questions when I've experienced it myself, like the tests that I'm supposed to do at my age, the tests that men are supposed to be doing. And he wanted to do it for me in a place where we could get free. And then I said, you know what, I can invest some money. It's my health. So next week we're going to do full body checkup for Arthur, and by the time I have Dr. Kiwanuka on the channel, nja kuba nange byembuuza mbimanyi nga mubuuza kati babankebera kino. Of course bibankebera nga ndi mulwadde sijja byogerako for matters of confidentiality. Naye ndi healthy. Really, there is a time I was feeling funny, so I went and they did a urinalysis for me and they said I had some protein. So nabadde neevuddeko. When you have protein in your urine, it's not a very good sign. So I've not done anything special apart from hydrating. And I did the test again today and I'm okay. My blood pressure is normal, but diabetes is not anywhere to be seen. And that's a good thing, right? Literally, like in my family, waliyo sukari, waliyo ne blood pressure. Those are the things that normally like disturb people. Apart from the guys that die of AIDS. Abo nabo banji je bali mu family yaffe. Kati bwe wewala AIDS, nosobola onewewala edogo, then you have 2 other enemies. 3 other enemies would have accidents, and then high blood pressure and diabetes. And of course now these days, nalaba nti waliyo n'obutwa. Kati nebo nabo obwewala obwogenza. Arthur, with my 25 million tusobola okufuna kigege. Andrew, you will get a kigege that has police receipts. It will not be very good. Sure deal, ogenda kuba olina okukwatamu engine. Ogenda kuba ogenda kusiba engine. Ojja gigula nga engine si nnungi, ejja kubako epapula ya million nga 4 oba 5. You see the kigege we bought, the last kigege we bought did not have even a single police receipt. Kwaliko emitwalo 3, but for a taxi, it's like it has no police receipt. The owner told us ekipapula yakitekako strategically, so that his taxi has ekipapula, so that traffic officers don't think we are gezi. You know, they say that traffic officers we bakusanga ngo toyinako ekipapula yadde ku taxi nga bakukuba ebipapula. Naye basanga oyinako mwina mutandikira okunyumya afande kwata ye 5. Okitegeera ekyo nakyo ne kiyita. So but most chigeges have police receipts of 2.5, 2 million, 3 million. All chigeges that we saw when we were looking for this chigege had all those receipts. And this chigege had no police receipt. It had valid PSV. It had valid third party. It had good tires. The body was good, like you saw. The interior was good. And we tested it. We tested that car. We took it on the express up to Entebbe and came back. Kubanga twagiraba yalinga epika hose pipe ekyo ekyamazzi. So for us to just simply make sure that it doesn't overheat, we drove it all the way up to Entebbe at high speeds on high revs. Ngeungamu akakawungamu ke kalimu obulwadde bwokka kimanyi akakoze. Era tomorrow, if we get a driver, the driver can take the car tomorrow. I've just not gotten a driver yet. I'm very careful with drivers. I realize that if you're going to have a chigege anywhere, the one prayer you should have is that you get a good driver. If you get a bad driver, taking the taxi from them is one of the hardest things that can happen. They can spoil. Some people are not good people. They are not good people. You know, the guy that spoiled the chigege, the other chigege, the one that spoiled the engine, he called me to ask for his papers, and he confirmed that yabikola. Manyo muntu kugambe na jono nakati munkole che munkola. And you have no proof, so there is nothing you're going to do to him. And some people are bad. So if you're going to be buying a chigege, I find that the biggest prayer you should have is that you get a very good driver who will pay and on time. You get that's and then you cannot know who a good driver is. Someone will take your car, pay for the car first couple of weeks and then stop. And when that happens, it's you who starts losing. Olumu emoroka agitekeko ebipapula, olulala emoroka agitomeze, olulala atandika okubikira. And I find that one of the biggest problems that you would do is allowing the driver to fix their own car. That's also another problem. But it all goes back to getting a good person to work for you. And in all businesses, literally. That's why when people get good employees, they hold on to them. Because it's very hard in Uganda to get a very good employee. So ngenze, and then I realized I'm very healthy, and I'm happy that I'm very healthy. Well, you don't know what it means to so I'm going to do a full body checkup even then. The tests is recommended, that the doctor recommends. I will do all of them. Zona. Of course, there are tests that they do when you're in emergencies. There are tests that they do when you're just doing a random checkup. And I used to be a paranoid person. Hypochondriac. I used to be a hypochondriac. I would literally fall sick even when I'm not sick. I would do. I would feel like I'm sick even when I'm not sick, and then I would go to the doctor. And so I'm that kind of person. I would just go and check myself to see, am I okay? Yeah. But I'm okay. And it's relaxing. And the fact that I've maintained normal blood pressure, my blood pressure went back to normal when I started running. I started exercising. It was a high before I even started lifting weights. So I started lifting weights. I do squats. I drink a lot of water. I don't sit for long periods of time. So that's why when I'm in town, I move. Twagala kuwangala mulungi Giri, how are you? So guys, what are you doing this Sunday? Bani abagenda ogula emmoroka nga bampisaako sente za inspection nyiige ekyo nakyo nkinyiigire. So I'm shopping again for dash cams. The first dash cam I bought, I'm actually removing it now. It's useless. It's useless. This, it has never worked. I bought lots of memory cards trying to make this thing work, and it has never worked. It always says the memory cards are wrong. This is a 128 GB memory card. I thought maybe the memory cards were small, so I bought a big one. Still, it did not work. So this is a dash cam this is money lost. So I've taken out all the wires. Today I'm shopping for a new dash cam. I want to get a 4K dash cam that records behind, in front, and if possible to record like 360, so that we have that footage that I promised you. And cutting stress is also essential when it comes to maintaining our blood pressure. Yeah, Chris Fitness, I find that the situation pressure when things refuse biba biganye. Bigana nga ntule ebbali nga I relax nga wakati ekyo kiganye. In the past I used to not be like that. I used to be the kind of person that when things are not working, I worry, I panic. You know what they say, at least panic and run around. I used to be that kind of person. But I've grown now to realize that sometimes it's okay. Things don't work out not because you did not do well. Things just don't work out because they just did. Maybe they were not meant to be, or maybe it's something that is out of your control and you just let it go. Every disease is the devil, and the devil is a bluff. Read James and move on. Giri, I don't believe the disease is the devil. May I believe the disease is a disease? If you don't take care of yourself, the devil is not to blame. So me, I try to take care of. I don't want to blame the devil for anything. I find that I believe that the devil is doing his own thing. You get, the devil is attacking people that seem to look at him. Me, I don't even want to look at him. You know how they say that when you're living in a country that doesn't have a good government, don't look at the government. Do your thing. Be alone. Be on your own. Someone was posted yesterday that Vice President Kiwanuka Sekandi has been the best example of a vice president. Just mind your business. Don't be in the news. Don't do anything. Just be a vice. You're a vice. Be a vice president. And it's the reason why the deputy president, vice president of Kenya, was impeached because he wanted to kulia butara of the president. So even me, the devil is there, but let him be there. I don't care about him. As long as it doesn't come to me, I'm not going to go to him. So Giri, me, I believe that, for example, if you think about things like blood pressure is something that you can avoid or you can control if you change your lifestyle. You eat right, you exercise, you control your stress. The devil needs attention, so you don't need to give him any attention. You just might, thank you, Billy Crown. Do your thing, leave the devil alone. If you leave the devil alone, he will also leave you alone. He'll concentrate on the guys that care about him. You like 100%. Your life is 100% your responsibility, not the devil's theories. Exactly. Thank you, John. The devil is my life is, and once you get to understand that I find that your life kind of changes once you realize that you're not going to blame anything that goes wrong in your life, whether they were with you or not, because sometimes you'll say, this person helped me make the wrong decision, or they were with me but still now it's your responsibility. You have to take it on. And that's something that it takes time for you to learn. Then you stop stamping the ground in Bolinya Stani, you'll stop because it's your responsibility. Stay out of battles that are not your business. You get if you come to try and fight me, I walk away. If the devil is not against you, just know it finished you. Giddy, where do you get those theories? Where do you get those theories? Yeah, where do you get like you're busy thinking that every time someone is chasing me, no one is chasing me. Why would they be chasing me? Eh, Jilly, you're there thinking that the devil is always chasing and chasing you. Uh, uh for me, the devil is not chasing me for what? What have I done to him for him to be chasing me? Me, I'm in good terms with God. God is doing his protecting. You get, because God does his protecting. Kati kati katonda bw'aba akukuuma ate sitaani akusobola kati gwe mpozi nga gwe atali in the good books of God, because if you're in the good books of God, the devil has no business with you. God is guarding every entrance to my life. So how would the devil come near me? How would the devil even be thinking about me? Every time the devil thinks about me, God says, omunonya kochi. Did you see the young girl who collapsed when they were starting in recently? Heart attacks are very common among young people. I find, Chris, I think that the heart attacks these days are because of diet. Abaana abato abo mbalaba ffe we twakulira tetwabanga na sente, naye ate those young people now have money. Balya nnyo ebichipsi, balya nnyo Rolex. I find that mostly it's the diet. Kati ku diet bw'ogattako stress y'okuba nti olumu atidde ebibuuzo nga lwaki heart attack temukuba. But I find that majority of the time for us it's the diet. When nali nyina hypertension, one of the changes I made was I was still stressed. Even when my blood pressure was normalizing, I was still stressed. But I find that one of the major changes I made in my life was dietary. It was dietary. First of all, the doctor told me to cut out salt, and I totally cut out salt for like 3 months. Even my food at home, there is no sauce. And then afterwards, it came back, salt and then I stopped eating a lot of junk food. And then I started exercising because hypertension was confirmed for me a little before the lockdown, like 1 month before lockdown, about 3 months before the lockdown, because then I kept going back to the doctor and my hypertension was like the blood pressure was always going up. And then lockdown came. And then the lockdown, I think, taught me how to kind of manage stress, because the lockdown taught us that sometimes you have no control. But sometimes you're not in control. Sometimes there is a higher power that is in control. So the lockdown taught me to kind of manage the situation, how it comes. So, and then during the lockdown, that's when we had our last born, Ragnar. Embeera teyali nnyangu nnyo mu lockdown, but still we managed mpola ne tuyitamu. Yeah. So Chris Fitness agamba, I think it's important to not ignore any chest pains. Yes. It's not like chest pain, like especially on the left. The heart is on the left, right? The heart is on the left. That's what I was told. The heart is on the left. When you get something that pierces you on the left or what, you go and check it. So I bought a blood pressure monitor myself, and I do measure myself like periodically. I know the normal, I know how to put it here, and because I want to live long. And my grandfather, the one that my grandfather on my mother's side got a stroke, and I know it was pressure. Yafuna stroke, and he was on the bed until he died. That probably almost a year. I was young at that time, like an P4, when my grandfather got that this stroke. And then nikimusalako ng'oludda olumwe n'aba nga takyasobola kwekolera bintu ebisinga. So at least that one I saw. And then there is a relative of mine who is supposed to be like an uncle of mine, who was a reverend, who was a father, a priest. So for him, he got diabetes. They even cut off his leg. Not one, 2 legs. They cut off 2 of his legs. And I remember the last time I was with him, I had dreadlocks, and he did not treat me very well. And yeah, I think that's the last time I saw him. I went to his burial. because it was near. So I went to church, and yeah, because literally everyone was there. So I went there. And yeah, so that's two things that I know that are in my family. My grandmother now, my grandmother on my mother's side has pressure as well. So I know that high blood pressure is I can get high blood pressure anytime. So I have to watch my diet. I have to exercise a lot. I have to watch my stress levels as well. And yeah, so hypertension, blood pressure, and then a bunch of people from both sides of my mother's side, my father's side died of HIV. So I know then I also have to keep myself in check. And then I know some people that they claim died of witchcraft. So I also have to watch that. So I know that I just have to watch everything that literally kills people. If the person that does not die of those things, they can live as long as they okitegeera. Thanks for the information. Nja kwetaaga kanuwa tuwara oba super eyimiridde ntegekeyo nga mmeka. TMT kanuwa beera ne milioni nga 13 14 kati obeera ne milioni 16 just to be safe boyinza ofuna kanuwa ng'ate kapya nnyo ng'ate nga kasukkamu eyo budget kati ate nga tewalibadde tokaleka naye nga lwakuba nti kwoyagala, why don't you buy the second generation nuwa the okitegeera eyeringa vox. Good evening King Daniels, how are you? Yeah, so Chris Fitness, since that you're a fitness person, what things should these guys, Nadala, the guys that live in apartments, because there are guys that live in apartments, ngati baina centers gena mu gym or centers gula gym membership. What are some of the things that they can Google, the exercises they can Google and do at their homes, mumadiro ewaka, and keep their blood pressure in check? Because there is this other guy, the advertising Mongol, he was CEO of Fireworks, and Fireworks Advertising is one of the biggest advertising agencies in the country. And yafira muchinabiro, yagwa muchinabiro nafa. But most people don't just fall in the bathroom and die. It's normally because they have gotten something that has disturbed their system and they cannot help themselves. Nagwa mukitegeera. So eyinza okuba ngira yali stroke ye yamukuba nagwa mu kinaabiro nafa okitegeera. And he was a brilliant guy. So so what are some of the things that these guys, because here you cannot show us, but maybe you can tell them, I think walking is very good workout. Yes, walking is also good, but from the men, do squats so that you work on your lower body as well. Already, because your lower body wanira buli kimwe ekiri waggulu, and then your lower body also yekubomusayo guzza waggulu. Lifestyle changes are really the foundation of a healthy living. And then there are people that are found that are really big, ngabanene, and they don't seem like they're making any effort to lose the weight. Ngatwenkana obuwanvu ngate yendo zali mu kilo nga 13 ngakati this person, how do they breathe? Okitegeera ngolabira ddala. And then today I realized, I think we have even talked about this today. Yani gwe nsomyeko wano yafudde nga yeebase. Mama wa Gravity yafudde nga yeebase. Like she just did not wake up. And that's the thing with low blood pressure. High blood pressure is bad, but low blood pressure is worse. You just sleep and die. By the way, you people, the life I have experienced in my Vista, a Telliot 1990 model, I would rather have a man come and push car than having no car. Jidi, oyagala nnyo omusajja alina emmotoka, but every man should fight to buy a car. Yeah, I don't know how a man can be there without a car. Like Ojo Gotia. Like I remember I used to date a white chick. Like when I saw Kogende Norway, I got like a white chick, and yeah, we had our thing. I was there for like 6 weeks, and we had our thing for like the last 3 weeks of my stay. So I left, and then she came to Uganda. She was doing some work here as well. So I got to see her, and I tell her, I'll pick you up and we go for a date. And she said, you'll pick me up in what? Norwegians are very honest people. They say, you will pick me up in what? You don't have a car? At that time, I was At that time, I was 17 years old. Like 17 in Uganda, telling someone, you'll pick me up in what? You don't have a car. Like if 17-year-olds even in Norway don't have cars, they have bikes. So, but if here in Uganda, you can't even have a bike at 17, legally at least. So that time, that changed my perspective. And I think that's one of the reasons why I struggled a lot to get a car. Well, you know, money modo eyo. Teri yo bakola ankole. But you choose. The rule is 30 minutes of exercise 3 days a week. Mulide 30 minutes of exercise. Which exercise, Chris Fitness? Should it be aerobics? Google body workouts at home or YouTube search body workouts at home. Yeah. So Chris Fitness, the 30 minutes is very aerobics, over aerobics and weight lifts. So you want someone should work out 30 minutes every, like for 3 days a week. So that means Mondays are normally hectic for most people. So probably that would mean Sunday, Saturday, and Friday. But Friday, normally people go drink and get drunk. Saturday, they do the same. So maybe then that would mean Sunday, 30 minutes. Wednesday, 30 minutes. Thursday, 30 minutes. Mukitegedemu abantu abagejjulu kusenga olina oli wa fuuti 5 naye nga ozito wa kilo 7. Fuuti 5 olina kubanga obeera wa kilo 65. Arthur, I disagree on so-called family lineage diseases. As a Christian, you can reject and pray about it on top of your exercise. The change can begin with you. Reynolds, I really love to believe in prayer. I really love to believe in prayer, but I also believe that before you anti bagamba abasawo bajjanjaba mukama naawonya sicho kati me I've seen people that were prayed for, treated in very good hospitals, but because the damage was very bad, like the damage was really bad, they still did not survive. So Chris Fitness chaga now we chogamba definitely in the church too, but I don't believe that certain things are simply rejected. Arthur, I don't believe that certain things are simply rejected. Like you cannot say I reject HIV, I reject, and then you go have unprotected sex with like random chicks. You get, as a beginner, you can do anything. It's about exercising. Toso Sola. Hi, Starch, how are you? Reynolds, you cannot just say I reject HIV and then you go have random sex, unprotected sex with random chicks. You get, kata rejection ye batekoze. You have to make cautious decisions to say, sija kuchikola because the results, I don't like the results. You have to make like choices that are clear. Which take if they tell you this causes blood pressure, prayer alone, that rejection in prayer doesn't do. Wakitegera bwe bagamba ewamu abantu 7 muline giya mujjajjawo bonna mulimu abaafuna pressure nga 4. Wakitegera bwe togenda kugamba nti let me reject, it means in your family there are lifestyle choices you guys make that bring pressure. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, Reynolds. Starch. Oriotya. Olwala lwateredde luwonye naye ndoza bakuwa painkiller wa amaanyi. Reynolds, I find that ebirwadde ebyo lwaki bisigala mu family nga bisigala bitambula. It's because the father, grandfather is doing and he does exactly the same, and the son sees the father does exactly the same, and that's how diseases keep in your family. Bwe musigala nga mukola ebintu byebimu musigala mwenna mufa obulwadde bwemu because your choices are the same byebyoka bye mumanyi. Tekiri nti kiri spiritual. Reynolds, the diseases that keep in family lineages are not spiritual. These are things that because in your family you grow up eating burgers, n'abaana bo ne balya burgers, n'abazzukulu ne balya burgers, wekitegera nga it's like your staple food, temukola exercise. That's why bagamba family yabo banene because the choices are literally the same. Wekitegera, bro, why is it that my wife started body workout, she goes back in periods immediately? I don't know. Maybe we'll ask Dr. Kiwanuka that one. Mruwatandika exercise, Chris Fitness, so in ekibuuzo kyakyo. Reynolds, even God wants us to make the right lifestyle choices. You can pray as you do the right choices in terms of active life and proper diet. Thank you, Chris. Chris, oyinza okuddamu King Daniels awo ekibuuzo. He says, mukyala we bw'atandika ati exercise nga ddala in periods. Can you answer that? Nze exercise nkola zange. Reynolds, the thing that happens, me I know that ogenda okwesanga family yonna ebaamu stress nga bestressinga bo bastressinga bannaabwe. Aha, King Daniel okitegedde asooka agendeko mu basawo ekyo kiggwe. The Sunday is this calm. The Sunday is this calm. I've deep cleaned the car. I know I like deep cleaning. Then na mama banaina arongosa ko arongosa okitegeera. But guys, nze ngenda tandika revolution ya full body checkups. I find that one of the reasons why fengaba na Uganda omuntu afa ne bagamba omuntu yafudde tetwategedde kyamusi, it's because ate yamanyi history ye. No one knows. Vigilax, Reynolds Mulokole, Arthur, you know how small the UK apartments are. Small, so I bought a mini stepper and exercise bike and for exercise at home. Yeah. Never nangize bike sezo zimbo. Ata kati mwabali mu environment resili organized. Why don't you guys run? Murad, can't you run around? Like your places are organized. I was in Netherlands. I was in was it Amsterdam? Like the village part of Amsterdam. I got lost. Was it Amsterdam? Where was I? I was in one part of Amsterdam. And my hotel was far away from the concert house when I didn't end corridor. In the morning when I was going, I followed the map properly. Followed the map properly, go to the concert house. And I said, yes, now I go straight and go to the left. I'm at a hotel. So after rehearsals, I decided to go back to the hotel, walk the way I came. And then I realized I had gotten lost. Ngabo notambula ngogenda ku Buganda ku hotel ye eri ku Serena. Nene wesanga oli ku Old Kampala. Kati ngate okuva ku Old Kampala okudda ku Serena tolina kyomanyi. Abadaachi abo bamanyi. Olumu tebaagala kutuddamu buzzi. Tayagala kwogera na muddugavu. So I would ask them ngenda kweno hotel and some people would pretend they don't know English. Naye ngate oluzungu balusoma. Okitegeera. So Murad came, may I find you can run. They were mwenze senga jembera senga nkera kudduka. Nange bwenda ba Vilgax asobola okudduka. That's my point, guys. You can't ignore the healthy living. But it's also wrong to say a certain disease in the family lineage because somehow that will manifest. Wait! Reynolds, let me tell you one thing. Me, before I was diagnosed with hypertension, I didn't even know. I had never even paid attention to high blood pressure. The one thing I can tell you, nari simanyi na kumanya nti bibayo. Zenga manye bebirwadde byabakadde, jomukadde yafuna pressure, oba omuntu ayina amabanja ga bank, nzenga sina amabanja ga bank. So, Katino Reynolds, how I discovered that I have hypertension, I used to feel guilty. Like, you know how you be there, you feel like you have done something. Like, I used to be there in 2019. Like, literally, the last half of the almost all 2019. I feel guilty. There's another symptom the doctor told me. But that was the leading. That's what I had. Doctor, I was feeling a certain way. I don't remember what that thing is called. So I go to the doctor's office. And I talk to the doctor. I feel like this, or this. Nambuza, do you also feel guilty? Like you feel like you have done something wrong and you want to report yourself? And I said yes. Nangamba nola bikotanisa okufuna pressure. And he checked me. Nandekako that machine akaka umanye obukadde obupika opisi bati. Nangamba no ina blood pressure yatandikiriza butandikiza kulinya you have hypertension. Nangamba now ate ebiseera ebyo ogwo omwaka guna 2019 twalyanganye emberenge okitegeera twalyanganye emberenge ku kubo tuba I would pick mama ban pick a ban nga tulyanye emberenge mu kubo. And you know popcorn has raw salt, so the raw salt that you eat nalyanganye ne muogo, the raw salt that you eat also helps that kati wogatako stress. So the guy tells me you need to change your lifestyle. And I find that that's one thing that helped me a lot. So Reynolds, I had never manifested. I did not even know that a person at that time in 2019, I was 29 years old. I did not know that a 29-year-old can get hypertension or high blood pressure. but I had high blood pressure. Okitegeera, so I did, nze nali simanyi nga newaffe simanyi nti gyebiri, but at that time oyo omusawo bwe yaŋŋamba nti you have high blood pressure biki naŋŋamba start watching your family olabe biki ebirala, the risk factors oba bwe bakiyita, and then start controlling it. Then I realized my grandmother had pressure. Then my grandfather yafuna stroke, and then a bunch of other people that are coming abazenga bafuna pressure, abafunye diabetes. But it's lifestyle. It definitely has. Okumanyanga it's lifestyle. You'll go to a home ng'omwami ayina diabetes, ng'omukyala ayina diabetes. Yes, Jini Putan, yes. Okitegeera Reynolds, you go to a home when the husband and the wife both have diabetes. They are not related at all. They come from totally different families, but they both have diabetes. Because they eat the same things, they get worried about the same things, they drink the same kind of tea. Junk food, so diabetes abedawo. Family yaba abantu munange nno. It's because of lifestyle choices that they make as a family. Kanabana ne bagikola, n'abazzukulu ne bagikola, ne wesanga batandika family yabo nno banene, naye nga family yonga iyo tebali badde banene, but it's the way they live. Tekiri mumbuyu manifest it oba tekiri mumbuyu, it's a curse. Ono no John kamugobe. Yeah, so Reynolds, I find that kyonna kyokukola gwemanya nti endwadde teziriiko kusabira mbu zikuveeko. Ne bw'onoosaba ng'osigala okola ebyekigwagwa, tokola exercise, olya bubi. And I find that one of the biggest things that people, the mistakes that people would do is continue. Like you've had people that are in abusive relationships, alimu abusive relationship naye nga ye agenda asaba. Abeera mu kusaba ku church ekifo ky'okuva mu abusive relationship. Okitegeera kati n'alowooza nti ate Mukama Katonda ye anaagijjawo. I do go for jogging at Hyde Park or in the morning. You see, in the developed countries, they are now focused on preventative strategies of diseases because it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper. Nze ngenda tandika okukola that full body checkup every year so that I live long to see my grandchildren. Kazowa chechiriwo. I want to live long to see my grandchildren, and because I've not really played with my kids because Oromo made busy, so I've not really played that much with them. But I'm thinking when I'm a grandfather, I'll have plenty of time to play with my grandchildren, and then I'll spoil them. I've not spoiled my children. I saw a video. If you spoil your children, you'll look after your grandchildren. If you don't spoil your children, you'll spoil your grandchildren, because your children will be not spoiling and then looking after their children, who will be your grandchildren. So yes, I look forward to spoiling my grandchildren. Already envisaged no that and kuwangara. But then I have to work on it as well. Exercising, I have to be really careful. I have to control my stress. Like now I have a mini headache, but I know after the exercises that I'm going to do after this broadcast, I'll be very okay. Normally, exercises it is spotless. Prevention is better than cure. Naye mukulu Lawrence, nawe nalabange yetago kola exercise. Wetaaga odduke. Mukulu Lawrence, wetaaga odduke. Okole squats. Banka akati. Arthur, did you see the videos of the lady who slapped the police officer? Do you have full information about it? We all have information that we are given. But apparently, the lady knocked someone or someone's car. She was stopped and she refused to stop. So she drove to the safe zone that she knows, which is Lugogo. So she goes to Lugogo Uma, she parks there and locks the car. And I think when she locks the car, the traffic officer yazamugoberera. Ekyokutomerawo butatomera, that we cannot prove. Because musirikale bwanagamba watomedde omuntu naye yagenzi. Okitegeera. So, but that's the report that she knocked someone and then refused to stop. And then I think she did it at a time when the traffic officer had the time to follow. So the traffic officer followed. Okitegeera. And when he followed, I think the lady, her goal was, let me go somewhere, park, close my car and move away. He won't follow me. But the guy came, and I think the lady started recording him as an intimidation tactic, obviously. And traffic officers don't like to be recorded. I don't know if it's something they don't like simply because they do wrong or because it's not right. But if I'm recording something and you're not doing wrong, what's wrong with it? You can record me definitely. So the lady starts recording, and the traffic officer, I think, tries to take the phone. Over the phone falls, then the lady says, why are you breaking my phone? And she slaps him. So when the lady slaps the guy starts taking the number plates. Now, on taking the number plates, the lady also takes the EPS machine, the machine that does police receipts. Which take it. And then the guy says, Katigotereke chonze to teach number plates. And that's where it ended. You get? Me, I know the officer wanted Kamani. Probably she ran a red light or did something, and the officer just wanted money. But I find that he also went to the wrong person. But also that person, so both people are wrong. We know why he was there. We know he was not there because she did that very wrong thing. We know that those officers work with gunmen. Which take it. And if it were really that bad, he would have had his gunman. So kati nzenga Arthur nchimanyi nti there is a possibility that his officer yabadde amanyi waliyo muwogo nasanga teri muwogo. Okitegeera. No, I'm using MTN, guys. I went and bought that MTN box. The Airtel najivuddeko sigitegeera. Let's see what it does tomorrow morning. Oba nenchakumacha kinaba clear. The network hasn't even gone. Naye nga ate you'll be surprised. The MTN thing is showing that there is bad network here. Officer yabadde ayagala kasente. True. Mbwabe mbute nnene bebanyirira. Munange, I've seen people. I know a friend of mine who went and even took medicine to grow fat. We know he wasn't there out of kindness of his heart. Yes, Vilgax. We all know. But what the lady did still was wrong. Ochitegi, right? The lady just had to talk nicely to the guy. I found that with traffic offenses, sometimes it's easier for you to just allow the police receipt and go away. You cannot argue with the police officer. Because the police will literally always try to make you an example. Kati webali bamulagira konga example tukbango wa polisi. Kabe munene ate dewa bate bamutadeko musanga ate kupo yasasudde wa polisi. Nazo amwade million nge mwachite gawai. Kuba the police officer is the complainant. Okitegeere kati police officer complainant wavaako namusasula nasasula n'abali musango bali abatambuza file nabo bagitte. She's going to spend more money. Yalikiriza bukiriza receipt. Me, I've learned to sometimes let things go. Sente bakola nkole iyo bani gwe nadde njogera naye nga ngambe bya sente mga muganda wange sente nga bakola nkole olwaliro osobola okuba ng'ozira ng'enkyato zina atoluddako n'oba nazo okitegeera. Good evening Nakate Christine. So guys, Sunday wetu wegenze kati ngenda kwata muko mu cyuma ate kati Chris ko motivate nze nnyo kati ngenda kola nnyo ngenda kola nnyo, not to just of course not to be healthy alone but also look good, to also be macho. So when my kids look at me they say Daddy is Superman. You remember those things that we used to say? But abantu abalina abaana, do you realize that your kids look at you as heroes? Ng'omusajja abaana bapalaba teri akusinga maanyi, teri asobola kukuba. Daddy wange asobola kukuba n'akumalawo. JK kyekiri akamoli kagamba ki? JK wali okubye kuwa polisi. JK linda ku JK soko mbulire ekyakusibya. Eri negative energy yange eggulo yaweddewo. Soko otubule, why did you get locked up? Bakusibira ki, wakola ki? You definitely did something. Bakusibira ki? Kyoba otubulira kye tuba tugazaawo broadcast ya leero. Bakusibira ki? So now I've realized that you guys, why don't you guys receive some of these things and then you ship them to me? There is something I try to ship nechiganira mukubo. Otherwise, I'm going to keep buying Chinese things. Fighting outside Club Silk. Aha! Jeko oinamu olutalo gwosobola okulwana. Osobola okulwana jeke. Ngoleka ngole omuntu ali very calm. Oba gwe gubaali bakuba. Manya ayinza okusiba nga bakubye ne bakusiba. It was self-defense naye bantwala kuba nakuba omugagga. Mwali mulwanira kibebi. Because kigenda mwali mulwanira kibebi. Omugagga yali ayagala kibebi ng'ate gwakirina. Jeke mwali mulwanira kibebi. Mwali mulwanira ki? Nenze sirwanangako. I find that literally every time someone tries to fight with me, I walk away. After I grew up in Naguru, go down, fighting was a daily activity. Anze sirwanangako. I remember omundi guli gumu gwe nali badde nga nalwana twali tulwanira akawala nali mu P3 akavubuka kankuba ate tekankuba nti kali kasobola okunkuba nali siri confident nga kana naye kati baba at least omumenyo kwa omukono naye kati bwendi nwana. But of course every time someone tries to fight with me I walk away. I find that it's not worth it fighting. Like, okay, why are we fighting? Like, and then bumba mulwanira kibebi mwala okwekuba kyo nga kitambula nga kigenda ng'omulala apempewo. There is no cause for fighting. Money through the 90s. Nze saalwana ogwo omulundi gwokka mu pisi y'akavubuka nkajjukira kaali nakeero kankuba twali tubeere Masaka nali ngenze kuwummula ewa anti wange nga tuli mu kisaakaate kavubuka kankuba n'akawala ng'ate akawala ffenna tekatuliiko. Maybe Jeke pointed ku mugagga but see he can't fight. Kisoboka. Guys, they can't and basi wala ngene nkuba ekyuba Chris Fitness atugambe tukole prevent. Naye Jeke, what's the weight? Omaye abantu abamu abanene bemmanyi wano mulimu Jeke. Of course kati Jeke muwanvu muko. Naye Jeke nkimanyi Jeke munene. Antonio naye akubengeri jageno ingiro wa president doza ayinza okukirikawo for aesthetics. Abantu bagala ba president abanene abembuto. Tusime Eddie Rashid Jaginda, Danny Oken, Albino Olaku, Andera Joshua, Rama Charity Organizations, John Info, Chris Fitness Ruburwa, Kwikiriza Maria, Billy Crown, Samuel Sisye, Mukenya Abi, Murunji Jiri, Mugalasi Joshua Mix Farm, Charles Sebaduka, Morad K Momo VIP, Chiza Tadeo VIP, Andrew Nsubuga, Guy T, John Robinson, Murunji Jiri, Baba, Mugisha John, Babi Vlogs from Philippines, TMG, GFG, King Daniels, Maxwell Kahuma, Nsereko Stach, Vilgax, Jimmy Putan, Kazoba BL, Nicolas Sebulime, JK, twakolanga appointment z'okulwana after class mu primary. Appointment ezo nazuuliranga ng'abaana bazikola naye saagendanga naye nnyo okukima amazzi ewaka. That's my frame, Arthur. I can't get any smaller. Kati awoli wakoma kati gwe kitegezo ina kukola obeere fit. But true, in Uganda, all of you will go away peacefully and stress-free when you walk away from someone trying to close fight. Is Harrier 2018 turbo good 2 liter? The GS version. Why do you want to buy a turbo-charged car in Uganda? What are you going to use it for? The extra power is useless. I wanted starters, which is better. Both are good. Just the 1000cc version has less power, but they are both good. We had a lot of fight. Me, I'm still fit. Though I'm saved, I'm born again. Christian Siwana, we had a lot of fighting appointment at St. Jude Church in Naguru. Martha Marisa, Linda, onotabanga Martha wa Emma. Ngachusize erinnya. Martha Marisa, how are you? Guys, Kamba Siwuli. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Mweba nikuwela koko broadcast. It has been a very calm Sunday, right? It has been a very calm Sunday. Much mighty radio yange ya Android eno. Sensing anti katebankozesa nevaako yokka. Every day ko yokka nga sigikozesa. Sebo, you're still in shape oyinamu wakuwa omusajja. Oli wa boda. Linako, Martha Academy yakyusiza erinnya. Kale onootunyumiza lwaki wakyusiza erinnya bagayi Kamba Siwule kangene kwatemu ku kyuma nkole squats guys. The hardest exercise is squats and lunges. That's hard. Chris Fitness ainalo yaddako e Kampala nankwesa lunges ezo nenjagala okudduka mu gym. Good night Jimmy Putan bana guy musule bulungi. I fear fighting now era nziruka buddusi anti kati jeke kati risks nyingi olabye ku bulamu buwooma kati omwana kuba nakufuula vegetable sibisobola era nalabe batandise corporate fight mwalabe jeka zora yalwanye ne yanono bawazari yalwanye n'oyo guy jesubira jekete bamukubye yakivuddemu buvi yagenze okulaba omuvuka izo muttira migwa and he gave up ne bamuwangula naye nze kati obuzibu obuliwo nze wenagenda okulwana nja kuba nyina okwambala ne helmet ekyo ekya plastic ekyo kulwana paka kufa. Nze bwe nyingira ringi tuba tugenda kulwana paka nganzirise Shakib. Ebyo byajjeke byakoze Jeka Zora byakoze n'avaawo obuvi nze tulwana bwe mba sinawako mara kugwa wansi ne nga sikyasobola kuyimuka ne ndyoka manya nti onkubye. Otherwise tuba tugenda kwetwala naye Mukama abawo omukisa. I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you. Ciao, ciao.